Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Pathfinder role-playing game 1st edition beginner box. This is an item that I have been wanting to own for quite a while, but just for one reason or another never seemed to pull the trigger on it. I think it was just because I knew I wasn't really overly into the idea of collecting 1st edition Pathfinder stuff during the times when I was most likely to want to get this. Although that has sort of recently changed with the pocket editions and me sort of giving those more attention and using those as a cheaper alternative to building up at least a little bit. I love Paizo as a company. Like, I've been a big fan of them ever since they were doing the Dungeon magazines and Dragon magazines. So I always felt kind of bad that I never got into 1st edition Pathfinder, so I guess now I'm just taking advantage of, the extra time and the funds with nowhere to go to spend them to sort of correct the issue of not having enough Pathfinder 1st edition stuff. So, like I said, this is something that has been on my wish list for a while, and it's finally here. And I'm really looking forward to this. Starter sets are just some of my favorite things in general, and I absolutely love the Starfinder beginner box. I actually have 2 copies of it, one that was sent to me for review, and then another one that I simply bought to have and keep sealed. And depending, you never know, this is something that I might do with this as well. I also know that Paizo is looking to release a 2nd edition Pathfinder beginner box, I think near towards the end of 2020. So we'll see how that develops, of course, as time goes on. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and have a look at this box, still in the plastic. Just love the cover design. Looks like a black dragon from the Pathfinder system, and the black dragon is one of my favorite looking dragons of all time, especially the more modern depictions. And this one here also just looks absolutely awesome. I don't know. There's just something about them. They're kind of my favorite dragon. So anything that has black dragons on it, I am down for. So here we have this. This apparently is sort of like a revised or updated version of it, because it does say that there is a new book inside. On the sides here, we just have the iconic characters, the dragon, the iconic characters again, and the dragon again. And then on the back, we have this nice sort of concept art sort of sketch of the dragon. And it says, "Adventure awaits. Take your first step into an exciting world of fantasy adventure with the Pathfinder role-playing game beginner box. Within, you'll find simple rules for creating and customizing your own hero, as well as a robust system for running your character through challenging adventures and deadly battles against villainous monsters like goblins and dragons. Will you master weapons and magic to become a courageous fighter, a wise cleric, a witty rogue, or a brilliant wizard? All the details of your character are yours to control. The only limit is your imagination." The Pathfinder role-playing game beginner box is packed with everything you need to get started with Pathfinder role-playing game, an imaginative tabletop fantasy adventure game for 2 to 5 players. Tons of monsters, challenges, and advice give gamers the tools to create their own worlds and adventures, providing countless hours of gaming excitement. With streamlined rules and a focus on action-packed heroic adventure, this deluxe box set is the ideal introduction to the world of the Pathfinder role-playing game and the best starting point for a lifetime of pulse-pounding adventure. The Pathfinder RPG beginner box includes 64-page Hero's Handbook detailing character creation, spells, equipment, and general rules for playing the game, a 96-page Game Master's Guide packed with adventure, monsters, magic treasures, and advice on how to create and narrate tales all your own. A complete set of 7 Polyhedral Dice, more than 80 full-color pawns depicting diverse heroes and monsters, 4 pre-generated character sheets to throw you right into the action, 4 blank character sheets to record abilities of your custom-made hero, a durable, reusable, double-sided flip mat play surface that works with any kind of marker, and then we have New Book, a 16-page transition guide to bring your hero to the full Pathfinder role-playing game. The retail price on this was $34.99 US. I think I paid around $44 Canadian for it, which is not a bad price overall. And yeah, it just looks like a really just a really nice set altogether. Like I said, I was a huge fan of the Starfinder beginner box, and I suspect that the Starfinder one is pretty much, based on what we have here, and it sort of shows everything that we have there as well. So without further ado, like I said, the plastic's already sort of started there, so let's just get that all the way off. In sort of a roundabout way here. There we go. Now that was covering, okay. I was just trying to figure out what that sticker was covering, but I think that was just for the Canadian price, because, well, I live in Canada, and bought this from a Canadian bookstore. So anyway, without further ado, let's just go ahead and open this up. Oh, that was a box, I swear. So, wow. So on the sides here, we have an ad for the Bestiary on one side, the Inner Sea World Guide on another, obviously the core rule book, and then some Pathfinder tales, which I think these were like actual novels. Something, one of these days I do kind of want to see if I can track some of these down and add them to my collection as well. So really cool stuff there. So here we have our set of Polyhedral Dice, just a basic, flat color red with white numbering, but still cool nonetheless. So these will obviously just stay sealed inside of the box. We also have a whole bunch of bases to use with the Pathfinder pawns, which is always a useful thing to have. Oh. Okay, we have the, before you go any further, read this page as it will help you get started with this box. If you are on your own but still want to experience an adventure before reading the game's or the rules of the game, grab the Hero's Handbook and turn to page 2. Inside you'll find an adventure that you can play by yourself that teaches you the basics of the game. Cool. Since this is something that is relatively been around for a while now, I might actually do a video going through that entire solo adventure. We'll see how that goes. Every group needs Game Master, but if you want to be a hero and start playing now, grab one of the pre-made character sheets. You can be a wise cleric, a mighty fighter, sneaky rogue, or a cunning wizard. If you want to be a hero, but you want to make your own character, grab the Hero's Handbook and a copy of the blank character sheet in the Hero's Handbook, turn to page 10. And it will guide you through the process of making your own unique hero. And then every group needs a Game Master. If you want to take on the role of Game Master, grab the Game Master's Guide. The Game Master Guide gets to know all the secrets. The Game Master gets to know all the secrets and play all the monsters. Turn to page 2 of the Game Master's Guide to read up on the first adventure the heroes will face. And then, of course, we have our goblins here. And nothing on the back side of that one. Okay, so the first thing on the very top is the 16-page transition guide. So I think another thing that might be kind of fun to do would actually be to create a character from this. It might make for an interesting video, or interesting to me at least. Actually just go ahead and create a character from this box set, and then use this transition guide to actually transition them to a first level Pathfinder character. So it's just kind of cool that that they have that in here. So just a really nice addition there. And then we have the Hero's Handbook, and just a really nice, I just love the way that the Paizo does their starter set or beginner box booklets. A lot of companies will just use the simple, soft, the same paper stock for the covers and everything, and just staple it. But this is actually a nicely bound, soft cover book. I'm not going to go through. I don't want to spoil the adventure for myself yet. But anyway, we got some really cool artwork in here. You gotta love the goblin. So there's only 3 races available. So dwarf, elf, or human. So no No halfling in this one. But, you know, the races in there and the classes available, it does kind of remind me of like the old, like, basic rule sets from D&D in the past. And yeah, just really cool stuff here. The Cleric, we got our classes, the different things they can get at different levels. Just a lot of really nice artwork too. That's one thing I really appreciate in this, is that it seems like every page has at least something visually stunning to look at, which is really cool. Equipment, I also love the fact that they have everything shown as a picture, like, you know, sling, spear, quarterstaff, light mace. You know, the stuff that often kind of just, you know, falls by the wayside, or they'll show things like, you know, longsword, battle axe, great axe, warhammer, and then like a couple of bows and a crossbow. But this like literally shows everything, which is really, really cool. Even the basic equipment, it shows all the stuff for. And they did the same thing in the Starfinder beginner box as well. And yeah, so just some really cool information there. Glossary of common terms and some combat reference stuff on the back. Really, really useful stuff there. Oh man, I don't know. I just love these kinds of things, and these ones are done super well. So up next, we've got, looks like, the pre-made characters. Oh, and the blank character sheets. So, and I am kind of cramped for space right now because we had to clear out one of our storage closets to make room for stuff to quarantine, or, you know, disinfect, or subject to UV light for things that we can't disinfect. So table space for me to do these videos is becoming a bit limited, so the double-sided map, I don't know if I'll be able to show here. I might just take a picture and put that on sort of at the end. But here we have the fighter, and these are sort of like the iconic characters. So this is Veleros, and similar to the Starfinder beginner box, they have like the character sheet information sort of in the middle of the page, and then it gives you the explanation of the items on the outsides, which is kind of neat. I have to say, I do kind of like that approach. It does make scanning or photocopying it a little bit difficult, but I'm honestly not too concerned about that. And then we actually have a little bit of background information on the character himself, and that's sort of the same thing that we have for, you know, all the characters, so I'm not going to go through everything here. It also does give you some information, like, you know, if you play this rogue character, if you'd like to be good at sneaking, acrobatics, being a swashbuckler, picking locks, funny traps, discovering secrets, and stabbing monsters when they're distracted, you know, play this fighter character if you'd like to be good at being the toughest and strongest, using the biggest weapons, using the best armor, and charging into battle. So that's kind of neat there. Again, all the same information. It gives a little bit of information about the rogue class feature, so it gives you an example of how to sneak attack. Then we have the human wizard. So no dwarf in the iconic characters. The dwarf iconic character, I think, was actually the ranger, which was a little odd, but there we go there. So this one, play this wizard character if you'd like to be good at blasting enemies with fire, throwing weapons with telekinesis, knowing secrets about magic, knowing secrets about ancient lore, using magic scrolls. And here we have like the character himself, and I can't remember, hit points 7, con modifier. Okay, so they must have had d6s for hit dice for wizards in Pathfinder. I honestly haven't looked at the first edition Pathfinder wizards yet, but that is something that I will probably be doing at some point. And then we got the Cleric. So play this Cleric character if you'd like to be good at healing people, using magic to protect your allies, using magic to make your allies better in battle, using a scimitar, persuading people, and knowing secrets about the gods. So some cool stuff there. And of course the background. And then we've got our character sheets here, and just nicely colored, actually. And oh, you got a little goblin on the back for where it says monsters killed, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that's just really cool, I have to say. Yeah, it gives you all the dice on the side. Critical threat. I'm assuming they're all just on a natural 20, although back in this version of the game, different weapons would have different ranges for criticals. Yeah, just some cool stuff all together there. Just very nice looking character sheets. And it gives you like spell on friends, so this must be in conjunction with the player's book there. So if it's a spell that you can cast on your allies, for example, then it probably has this logo next to it. If it's one that you cast at your enemies, it would have the little skull. And if it's just a spell that can do certain things that don't necessarily pertain to either of those, it just has the little swirlies there. So just really cool stuff, and I like the artwork on there as well. Just really cool looking character sheets, I have to say. It makes me kind of sad that my printer, the color ink, is not only gone, but when it was there, it still wasn't printing properly. I don't know if there's a way to fix that or not. I've just decided at this point to say screw it and only just do like black and white. But still, cool stuff to have there. And then we have the Game Master's Guide, and this is a 96-page booklet. So this is, like the size of Adventure Path type of product here. And just looks like, again, gives you some great stuff in here. Information on building encounters. I suspect that this might be similar to like what they did with the Starfinder thing, where they give you an adventure that you can start with, and then maybe have like a follow-up suggestion, and then just lets you design the rest of the adventures for the character progressions in here yourself, which I think is really, really cool. They also have Sandpoint, and I want to say that sounds very... I can't remember if that's the town that you start in for the Rise of the Rune Lords Adventure Path or not, but still some cool stuff there. Random encounters. We have our creatures. Kind of love the metal helmet on the zombie there. We get zombie, wolf, will-o-wisp, werewolf. Damage reduction 10/silver. That's the one thing that I remember about this era of tabletop RPGs, but I will say that Pathfinder did do a better job of just letting magical pluses replace the need for certain weapon properties or weapon materials. Water Elemental, Venomous Snake, Troglodyte, Skeleton. Skeletal Champion, that's pretty cool. Serpent Folk, Salamander. Don't really see those get used a lot. CR6, that'd be like a tough fight encounter for something that you would use as like the last adventure you designed for this. Reef Claw, Orc Boss, Orc, Ogre, Mummy, Mimic, Medusa, Manticore, Hellhound. Whoops, that was more than one page there. Green Hag. Oh, okay, they got Green Hag. Grey Ooze, Goblin Boss, Goblin. Love the Goblin artwork there. Giant Centipede, Giant Spider, Ghoul, Ghost. Ghast? Nope, Gargoyle. Fire Elemental. Evil Wizard. Evil Rogue. Evil Fighter, Evil Cleric. So that's pretty neat. Could have like a rival party. Earth Elemental, Doppelganger, Dire Rat, City Guard, Boggard, Boar, Black Dragon, CR8. Holy goodness, that is going to be a tough fight. Barghest, Animated Statue, Air Elemental, and yeah, so there's our monsters. Magic items, again, all with their own artwork, which is really cool. Pricing for wands, okay. Yeah, so wands gives you the price. I guess it gives you that for all the magic items, I just didn't notice it there. But yeah, it gives you the wands, their and the price and everything, which is really cool. It just doesn't show you what the wands look like, because they can really look like anything. But it does show you which characters can use it with, like Cleric, Wizard, Cleric, stuff like that. So that's, again, really neat stuff. Scrolls, again, just really, yeah, I just love the way that that looks pretty cool. Just, again, really nice artwork all the way throughout. Looks like some information on hirelings, city adventures, different terrains, traps, breaking objects, just basically encounter design stuff. I am going like backwards through through this book, but yeah, so building the adventure, adjusting adventure, expanding adventures, using a published adventure, so this is just, again, stuff on running adventures, game mastering, and then we have the adventure. So again, really cool stuff there. And then we have our map, our double-sided map, which I think will feature the dungeon from the first adventure, as well as just a blank side on the other. I'm not gonna, oof, that is creaky. Have to work that out. I don't want to spoil the adventure here yet, so I think that'll do it for now. But similar to the Starfinder one side is completely blank, so you can do whatever you want with, and the other is designed to go with the adventure that they offer in there. Also, I will point out that this is something you can use dry erase on. So dry erase works really, really well. So you can design, like a room there, and you can sort of do, whatever you want with that. That doesn't work too well, but yeah, so again, it's just, great stuff that they included that. And again, it's something that they really, never had to do when it came to these types of products. Like, a lot of companies will just do like the paper maps, but here they actually give you the same quality of map that you would get had you bought the actual flip mats. So just a really awesome thing to do there, and I cannot give them enough credit for that, because, like I said, it was just sort of the extra step that they didn't need to take. I don't think anyone would have been upset if it was just a simple paper map that you could use, but to make it that dry erase one like their Pathfinder flip mats, just an amazing touch there. And then finally, okay, there's a little bit more here. So not quite finally, but we do have our pawns. I don't know what that phrase kind of escaped me there for a minute. So it looks like we have 3 sheets of them. And are they the same? Yeah, they're the same on both sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 28, okay. So yeah, you get, are the goblins? Oh, the goblins actually get full-size ones. That's kind of neat. Because normally they give them the small ones. But yeah, so you get quite a few different things there. We do have, looks like so our monsters are all here. And then it looks like we just have a bunch of player characters, which is really cool. And of course that awesome looking black dragon. But yeah, with the characters, so you have the clerics. So human cleric, so male, female, elf cleric, male, female, dwarf cleric. So it gives you basically all the race class combinations in both male and female, which is great. Love that dwarf fighter there. Human rogue, elf rogue looks more like a ranger. I actually like that one quite a bit as well. Yeah, just great stuff all around. And then of course you have your iconic characters on the bottom there as well. So yeah, overall, just some fantastic stuff. Really nice box set. And then just at the very bottom there, you just have the adventure continues. And this is just sort of where to go next. So it has like the core rulebook, Inner Sea World Guide, and the bestiary, which they had shown on the sides of the box as well. And then just a little advertisement for Pathfinder Society. So yeah, this is, like I said, this is a really awesome box set, I think, overall. Paizo has always managed to really sort of surprise when it comes to the quality of their like starter sets. Like, I mean, I loved the Starfinder one. This one here is fantastic, and I'm sure that the second edition one is going to be, you know, very much in line with these. And again, these are some of my favorites starter sets of all time. Like, just the way that they do these is just so packed full of great stuff for your money, and that is a very important thing to have, is that that value there. So they did an excellent job with that. So anyway, you know, want to thank you guys very much for watching, and let me know if you have or had the Pathfinder beginner box. You know, what were your experiences with it? Did you play through it all the way through the character progression and then transition to the hardcovers? Or did you just have the hardcovers first and pick it up because it was, you know, a Pathfinder product? Let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear from you guys on that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Take care.